Sharing the next installment of Stamping in a Bullet Journal, we are looking at acrylic blocks and why they are important. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. So today we're going to talk about the importance of acrylic blocks when it comes to stamping and the importance of stamping in a bullet journal with your acrylic blocks. So for bullet journaling, we're going to look at these three specifically, and even then we can probably narrow it down to these two. A lot of planner type stamps or a lot of alphabet stamps, you're only going to need two very small ones. So if stamping something you're trying out and you're on a budget and you don't necessarily want to spend the money, definitely this is probably the best size for bang for your buck. And then if you're looking at using alphabet stamp sets or any small icons, you want to stick to these. But we're going to get into why. So we've already talked about stamping, and I'll link that video up in the cards for you, and you can see which stamping is best to use for your bullet journal. And we're going to talk about the different quality stamps in a future video, but for now we're just going to look at the acrylic blocks and why they're important. So this is a stamp set from the Happy Planner, and I'm just going to grab one to show you. Now this one tends to fit perfectly on this little block, so we're going to stamp this out. So for the most part it's a pretty clean image. I didn't apply enough pressure in the center here, and that's why the acrylic block is important. It's all about being able to apply enough pressure across the entire stamp to allow the image to transfer cleanly. So I'm going to grab this one block up. This difference might not be as obvious, we're going to take a look and see. I'm trying not to, I've worked with the stamp before and I know it's the issues with it, so I'm trying not to overcompensate. But as you can see, I wasn't able to apply even pressure, so the E and the X is darker than the rest of the word. The star is a little bit darker because it was squished down more, and there's a little bit of smudging on the no. And that just gets even more exaggerated if we use the bigger stamp. And the other thing I want you to pay attention to is when I am stamping on my ink pad, I'm trying to just get the stamp, but the bigger your acrylic block in comparison to your stamp, the more likely you're going to be to get ink along the edges that'll transfer onto your page. So it's really hard, and the stamp block is wobbling as I'm applying pressure, and there you see it's a whole nother pressure issue as well. Now let's take a big one. Okay, I'm gonna over exaggerate this a little bit just so that it's easier for you to see on camera. So we're gonna put some ink on this guy. So pressure is equally as important when you're getting it down on your ink pad so that you get ink across the entirety of the stamp, and I definitely didn't. And even if you go in and push with your finger, you're still not gonna quite get the right pressure. So that little white line there, that's a problem. Here you can see it kind of blurred out as well, which is a problem. This line isn't even. It just kind of gets a little bit messy. But if we put it on or as close to the right side, we're better able to get our ink on it and stamp it down. So the border is a little bit cleaner as compared to this one. There are some issues with the stamp, but again, we'll get into that in a different video. But you can tell it's a lot cleaner. So that's basically why your acrylic block is going to matter. So I hope you found this video helpful, and you will consider looking into acrylic blocks if you want to get started stamping. Just like with most things, it's important that you have the right tools and practice as well. So the right tools is going to make a big difference in your quality of stamping. So hope you enjoyed today's video.